Good evening and welcome to the Schumacher Racing League. Tonight here for the Belle Isle Grand Prix, also known as the Detroit Grand Prix. We have 115 miles here at Detroit Belle Isle here on the iRacing.com Motorsport Simulator. 50 laps, 115 miles. Currently we have 13 people registered for this event. That could increase by the time that the qualifying session ends, but currently this will probably take about an hour and a half, each lap being about a minute and 35 seconds long. So let's get some action in here in qualifying. Let's see if we can find someone on track right now. Is there anyone on track? There we go. Don't know why it wasn't being nice to me, but there we go. Okay, so we're looking at Michael Deitch in the 57. He's had a past few poor performances in SRL, looking to rebound with a smaller field today. Fastest lap set by a driver was Elliott Drummond, or Van Drummond, with a 133.657. As you can tell from Michael Deitch's car, these cars are very loose. They don't handle the bumps very well, and since this is a street course, it's a very bumpy track. Let's focus on Van Drummond, the fastest in practice. If you notice, there's very little runoff, this being a street course, so you're basically encased in concrete walls, not a whole lot of places to go. If you do happen to run wide, as you see, Van Drummond runs a little wide and hits the concrete wall. No safety barriers at this track unless you count the tire barriers, but besides that, tires, it is just pure concrete, baby. Concrete and jersey barriers. The safest innovations iRacing has to offer. But 10 minutes of qualifying here, so more than enough time, well, for that to happen. More than enough time for people to get their qualifying runs in, as Henry Kaloff has started his qualifying run. Since the small field size, since we only have, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We have 13 people here registered right now. Small field size, decently long race. I think that this is going to string out really quickly, and I might have to retread my points a lot, but first on the board right now is Noah Larson with a 137.051. Not a very fast lap, but it's a good first lap. Let's see if he can improve. Michael Deitch, we were just talking about him, goes second overall on his first lap with a 140.5. Under the league, Alexander Schumacher jumps to first place now with a 136.2. Remember that the fastest in practice was a 133 by Van Drummond. Of course, Alexander Schumacher is the one who owns the league, is the big man behind all of the operations, for this league. So, shout out to him for allowing all of this to happen. He's the one that allows me to be compensated for my time and allows us to broadcast to you. So Alexander Schumacher on his flying lap. This is a very technical track, like I said, not a lot of room for error. So if you can be fast, then the second part of the puzzle is keeping it out of the wall, because these cars, those toe links break very easily with just one slight clip of the curb or 1 inch too wide. You can really knock the toe out of that and ruin your race very, very easily. And to the lead for qualifying right now is Caleb McKinney, starting his second lap. His first lap was a 1:34.7. So nice lap for Mr. Caleb McKinney. He was second fastest in practice, now the question is, what time will Van Drummond set, since he was the only person faster than Caleb McKinney in practice. Not a lot of time left for Van Drummond to make any mistake-free laps. We have just under 4 minutes left, so he has about one opportunity for a mistake. But qualifying does matter a lot. And speaking of which, Van Drummond has shot his way up to the pole position with a 1:33.735. Very nice lap by Mr. Drummond. So he knows how to wheel that car around this track, and currently he's over a second faster than second place. So he will be the car to beat, but it's very easy to go off from the lead at these road courses. You could have the most dominant lead, but it's all up to the driver to not make mistakes and throw a race away. Have to see if Van Drummond can set a faster lap this time by, since you get 2 clean laps to complete, and this is Van Drummond's second lap. It's very good at keeping it tight through the corners and maximizing exit speed. That's how you get across. That's how you get around this track. This very tight track, very, very fast. As you saw him slide out a little bit, right there, and he tapped the wall. That's going to invalidate his lap, as any small contact with the wall will invalidate your lap. So his time will be a 1:33.735. See, and there is currently no one else on track right now. 9 cars have set valid times, and 4 of them have not. And since there's no one else on the track, I don't believe that anyone else is willing to come out and try to set a lap. So while we have the static screen of the beautiful Detroit cityscape, let's get our qualifying results out of the way. Starting on pole is the number 44 of Van Drummond, and on his outside is the 76 of Caleb McKinney. Starting in third in the beginning of row 2 is league owner Alex G. Schumacher in the 68, with Dominic Barbagallo in the 17 on his outside. Starting 5th at the beginning of row 3 is Noah Larson in the 97, with James Thurston 3, the winner at Twin Ring Motegi, rounding out row 3. Joseph Lewis in the 28 starts off row 4 with Henry Kaloff on his outside. The last car to set a qualifying lap, Michael Deitch in the number 57, with the first car to not set a qualifying lap, James Bomar in the 201 on his outside. Cole Denton in the 46 and Evan Allen in the 50 make up row 6. And currently last place starting position is the 48 of Nicholas Martinez Jr. That wraps up the qualifying results. So Van Drummond will start on the pole, as this is a rolling start, so we do not have standing starts in SRL. Imagine if we did. That'd be a pretty funny starting sequence, but imagine it'd also be pretty chaotic. As the drivers grid up, waiting for Caleb McKinney and James Beaumont, and then we can start the pace lap. Now just waiting for James Beaumont in the 201 to grid up, and we can start rolling. Under pacing, just remember that the rules for pacing on the green flag is that the race starts on the green flag. The leader has to go when the green flag is displayed, so everyone can get an equal start. But God willing, we have a restart. It will be a leader's choice for that. But normally there are not cautions and restarts on road courses. It is normally a start to finish green flag run, but you can never know, as Drummond chooses to lay back just a little bit from the pace car.
Not going green.
As I don't know why the pace car did not go into pit lane, but we'll have an extra lap of pacing. So why not use this to get a good tour of the track through the roll bar of Van Drummond. I'm not exactly sure why we're doing an extra lap of pacing. Maybe to get Van Drummond closer to the pace car, but I don't know for certain. So we'll be here probably another 2 minutes. Many people have asked questions on why is Detroit on the schedule for the Schumacher Racing League. This used to be a track ran a lot by both IMSA, well, IMSA races this in real life actually, and IndyCar as well. So Alex Schumacher, the owner, decided, why not throw some Cup cars on it and see what happens. So that is why we are here. It's sort of like Cleveland, but a lot more enclosed and with no extra runoff. Imagine if we had Cleveland on iRacing. That'd be pretty cool, but I doubt that's happening anytime soon. That's just my personal pipe dream. As Drummond is still laying back quite a distance from the pace car. So we wait to go green. And green flag is in the air. Elliott Drummond off to a good start. Gets clear of Caleb McKinney. Caleb McKinney slots back in line as the cars cross the start-finish line. Looks like Barbagallo in the 17 got a little bit of the grass in front of Schumacher. Looks like everything is pretty calm as of right now. So no drama just yet as the cars file into this slow right-hand corner. Cole Denton running a little bit wide, but I don't think that he caught anything, as we do have an accident in the back. Looks like Nicholas Martinez Jr. might have caught the curb and skidded across the track a little bit. But yeah, so that's some right front damage to the 48 as Evan Allen clips that concrete wall. That's going to hurt his car a little bit, I think. But going back to the front, Van Drummond now starting to work on pulling away from Caleb McKinney. As we look at Michael Deitch here in the sixth, or not Michael Deitch, that's Henry Kaloff. Something happened with Michael Deitch, as I believe he might have had an accident. Might have overshot the corner and hit a wall, and that's why he's all the way currently in last place. But Van Drummond starting to pull away from Caleb McKinney as that gap has now increased to almost a second in just a lap. As this is a terrible TV camera. Can I get like any good ones? All right. But Caleb McKinney doing his best to try to keep on the back of Van Drummond, but that's gonna be difficult, as I think. Oh, it looks like Caleb McKinney might have caught some damage, as he now has a substantial amount of left front damage, trying to fend off Alex Schumacher, as Schumacher almost bites the wall. Just as we saw, I believe that's Cole Denton, not Cole Denton, as we saw Noah Larson bite a chunk out of that tire wall. So multiple cars already with some pretty substantial damage here in just 2 laps. But Dominic Barbagallo is now in second. As looks like James Thurston might have caught the wall a little bit, and this is allowing Cole Denton to get past him. James Thurston was initially hesitant to run this race, citing the length of it, but I think that he would be happy just to try and get some points to help out his championship efforts. As this is the closest battle right now, the battle between James Thurston and Cole Denton for the 5th position. But it looks like for the time being, Cole Denton will have the upper hand on Thurston. As Alex Schumacher looking to close the gap on him and Caleb McKinney. McKinney with quite a substantial amount of damage on that left front. Don't know if that is affecting his. Don't know if that's affecting how that car is driving, but it certainly looks a lot different with a big old smudge on that left front from a pretty hefty impact into the wall. As we look at Joseph Lewis back in 10th place. And Michael Deitch is slow. So let's see what happened to him real quick. So it looks like, oh, it looks like he money shifted, so downshifted too quickly and blew the engine on that 57 car. So an early retirement for Michael Deitch as he rolls the car safely out of harm's way. You hate to see it, but sometimes that happens here at these street courses as Nicholas Martinez Jr. is around and he tows the car. So let's see what happened to him in just 1 second. Taking a look at Nicholas Martinez Jr. Yeah, just looped it. And then decided that's enough and believe that he is the first driver to retire from this event. We look at our leader, Van Drummond, who has pulled to almost a 7-second lead over Dominic Barbagallo in the 17. We got a good battle cooking up for second place as Caleb McKinney makes a dive on Dominic Barbagallo. Nice move by that 76 to retake the second position. And then now Barbagallo will be under attack from the 68 of Alex Schumacher. Nice little train of cars that we have here. But Barbagallo did clip the curb. That's going to sacrifice a little bit of exit speed. So is Schumacher going to play the waiting game, or is he going to try to be a little more aggressive to try to pass at 17 for the last podium spot? Because I'm not going to lie, that 44 of Van Drummond is well out of distance for a lot of these drivers. Almost an 8-second gap between first and second. So, whoa, big slide from Barbagallo. This is going to give Schumacher some good exit speed as he makes a move down this long straightaway around the outside. Can he make it stick? Barbagallo with the preferred line pushes Schumacher a little wide. Nice clean racing. Whoa, just as I was saying that, a little bit of contact, but no harm, no foul. This allows Cole Denton to get to the outside of Schumacher. So now Schumacher has to play defensive, trying to prevent Cole Denton from getting past him. But Schumacher backs off, and now Cole Denton is up into the 4th position. And James Thurston in the 6th, looking to the inside of Schumacher. So Schumacher might lose 2 positions in one lap, but Thurston backs off early. But he has the preferred line coming into this corner, and Schumacher gives him more than enough room. Very respectful racing from the league owner, setting an example as Thurston makes his way into the top 5. So yes, it is confirmed that Michael Deitch and Dominic Barbagallo are out of the race. So they've retired, and they will take their second to last and last place points respectively. But Dominic Barbagallo, a strong start to this race as we go to lap 6. As you saw, his quarter panel scraped the wall a little bit. Up to 3rd place now. So having a very solid run here at Detroit, track these cars normally don't go to. Cole Denton kicking up a little bit of dirt. And we'll have to see if Cole Denton has an answer for Barbagallo to get into that last podium position. As, Thurston clipped the little opening in that wall a little bit. So hopefully that doesn't affect his car's handling too much. But Cole Denton all over the back end of Dominic Barbagallo. He wants that 3rd spot. Thought about diving to the inside, thought better of it, and had to back out. That's going to lose him some time, but we still got 40 laps, over 45 laps to go. So more than enough time for the comers and goers. But right now, Van Drummond has stretched his lead out to over 10 seconds. over Caleb McKinney, and Caleb McKinney has about a 4-second lead over Dominic Barbagallo. So not a lot of not a lot of competition between first and second to third, but we got some great competition for the final podium position, as Alex Schumacher is the last car in this little train of cars that makes up the most interesting thing happening on this track right now. And it's kind of surprising to see James Thurston here, as he cannot stop hitting that wall. Kind of interesting to see James Thurston back here. Normally he would be farther up front, but especially considering his performance at the last road course we went to, Mid-Ohio, where he did a phenomenal job, and if I'm not mistaken, won the race. I believe so. You'll have to fact check me on that one. But currently in 5th place, very respectable position, but I honestly expected him to be up front competing with Van Drummond, but maybe just this type of road course, the very bumpy street courses aren't his forte. Happens sometimes. Some people are good at different types of road courses. As we see Evan Allen exit pit lane, looks like he might have had an accident as he rejoins the track right behind Alex Schumacher. As Noah Larson has gone a lap down, he went into pit lane for some reason. Yeah, Noah Larson has retired from this event, as Cole Denton scrapes the wall a little bit. I don't know if you heard that. The wall juts out ever so slightly, so it can really catch you off guard, especially when you're trying to get every inch of possible room. Big move from the 46 to the inside of Dominic Barbagallo. James Thurston making a look at 3 wide. He clips the inside wall. What a move by that 96 of Thurston to muscle past both of them for the 3rd position. Now Barbagallo, Denton, and Schumacher will have to play catch-up as Cole Denton runs Barbagallo a little wide, and he will take 4th position. Not quite yet. Barbagallo has the run down the back, or down the small straight, and is consistently on the outside of Cole Denton. Oh, but that little scrape against the wall is not doing Barbagallo any favors, as he'll now be under attack from Alex Schumacher. And Cole Denton, with the help of grass a little bit, finally clears Barbagallo. And now James Thurston, with that great move, that great 3 wide move, moves up into the final podium position and will now try to pull away from Cole Denton. Maybe Thurston was getting tired of the people in front of him and saw an opportunity. Obviously made it work. As now these 3 battle for 4th position. Barbagallo swings it a little wide, clips the wall. That's going to sacrifice some of his exit speed. As we have not even reached lap 10 just yet. It feels like we've had 20 laps of racing, but we've only had 9. I think James Thurston might have gotten in the wall just a teeny bit. Yeah, oh yeah, James Thurston definitely got a piece of that tire wall. He does not have a front end. As, yeah, that car is obviously not handling very well, so not even a full lap after that move. It looks like Thurston has some pretty heavy damage. So Cole Denton has moved his way into the top position. Let's see if we can get a replay on what happened to James Thurston real quick. Okay, taking a look at James Thurston. Oh, looks like he just hopped the curb and caught some air. And when you catch air, you can't really turn anywhere. So he had nowhere to go but straight into that tire barrier, and that car is not handling very well. So that battle has stretched out just a little bit as Barbagallo overshoots the corner and has to brake hard to avoid hitting those tire barriers. And now that brings Alex Schumacher to his back end. As I did not mean to go on to James Thurston, my apologies. But Schumacher has passed Barbagallo as, whoa! Barbagallo overcooking it just a little bit, trying to catch Schumacher, hops the curb in, hits the wall. So Barbagallo definitely giving it everything that he has to try and get fourth place back. As this is really the only battle on the track right now, as James Thurston has pulled into pit lane. And now Alex Schumacher will try and focus on pulling away from that 17. But that 17 is a very persistent driver. So if he can keep it off the wall a little bit, I think that he'll have a very good chance at reigniting a closer battle with Schumacher, as they're pretty equal in pace, I believe. As you can see just how much distance he makes up in the braking zones. Get worried that he's gonna give Schumacher a little bit of a chrome horn, a nice little shove out of the way. But looks like everything is nice and clean so far. And we go to our leader, Van Drummond, who is an astonishing almost 18 seconds ahead of second place Caleb McKinney. He's led every lap so far, and he has the fastest lap with a 1:34.059. So safe to say he is absolutely flying right now. But he can be on cruise control for the rest of this race, and I doubt anyone will really catch him. Going back to Dominic Barbagallo and Alex Schumacher, the battle for fourth place was heating up, and then you saw Barbagallo get a little loose. And since you don't really have a whole lot of space to try to keep in the gas and save the car, you have to slow down a lot to avoid the car from smacking into the wall. So this is definitely a race of attrition, as, whoa, Barbagallo drove it in way hot. I'm very surprised that he did not hit either Schumacher or the wall, because he braked very, very late. But that will now widen the gap between Schumacher and Barbagallo to almost 2 seconds now. James Thurston has left the session, so he will be the fourth car to retire from. He'll be the fourth car to retire from this race in 13 laps. And Evan Allen 3 is the only lapped car. He's 2 laps down. He's had multiple incidents, but this is a good opportunity for Allen to show up and make some positions up in the points as he overshoots a hard left hand, or not left hand, a hard right hand turn. But since there was no one around him, no harm, no foul. Maybe a little bit of a bruised ego and some kicked up dirt. But now the field has spread out quite a lot. The closest battle right now, or the closest, not really battle, but the closest gap between 2 cars is between Schumacher and Barbagallo, which is a little over 2 seconds. 2 seconds separating them. It's a very long and twisty road course, and when there are 13 cars to go around this, well, it doesn't really lend to a lot of action. As Evan Allen has overshot a corner again. Looks like he didn't hit anything. So he's getting the hang of it. That's all I can say. Is that he's not hitting anything, which, I mean, judging by that front end, might be hard to believe as he clobbers the tire barriers. But I think that he'll make a lap without hitting something one of these days. It just takes a lot of practice as he moves into 8th place, taking the position away from the retired James Thurston. Caleb McKinney in the 76 is currently in 2nd position, having a very quiet race. Since the beginning. A couple of laps, and now that we are almost a quarter of the way through this race, he has just been biding his time, clicking off the laps. I think that he might have accepted that he's going to need a miracle for him to catch up to Van Drummond. But besides that, nothing in front of him or behind him, really. As we look at Alex Schumacher, who's pulled in on the 3rd place car of Cole Denton. As I don't know why my timing and scoring board was telling me that Henry Kaloff might have had an accident. And Evan Allen has entered the pit lane. But Cole Denton here in 3rd position, starting to feel some pressure from Alex Schumacher, as Schumacher has caught up to Denton. Schumacher looking to be very consistent thus far, and in these races of attrition, that's very important. Good exit from both Denton and Alex Schumacher, as this is the closest battle on the track right now, separated by about half a second. So if Schumacher can keep pulling in, we could probably have a pretty good battle, as that's exactly what he's doing. Schumacher pulling in ever so slightly, has a lot of time to work with. Got 29 laps to go. As Denton looks to go into pit lane, so that moves Alex Schumacher into the 3rd position. And Dominic Barbagallo up into 4th. Looks like everything's still sunshine and rainbows for Van Drummond in the 44. As long as he doesn't throw away the race, this is basically his race to win. His only competition really was James Thurston, if you go by previous road course results. But since he had an accident and retired, he really doesn't have to worry too much about Caleb McKinney, as he has a 22-second gap over McKinney and is routinely running about 7/10 faster than him. Not saying that McKinney's doing a bad job. He's definitely holding his own out there in second place. And this is just also leading to not a lot happening, as we have 7 cars. Yeah, we have 7 cars still running, as Evan Allen has finally decided to call it a night. And the only car currently lapped is the 28 of Joseph Lewis. I don't know if that's his actual scheme, because I have trading paints running. So, Mr. Lewis, if you see this, I apologize if your scheme is not showing up on the broadcast. But some people are here just to have fun, just to stretch their legs, run some laps. And that's what it seems like. That's what it seems like it's going to be right now, as Henry Kaloff pulls into pit lane. So maybe this is right around the time where people want to be stopping for fuel. I did not research the fuel amounts necessary, as Drummond clips the wall a little bit. You can see how eager he is to make as much ground on Caleb McKinney as possible, even if it means scraping the wall. Lap 18 out of 50. We have 8 laps to go until the halfway mark of this race. And not a lot's happening at the moment. Closest gap between 2 cars is between Alex Schumacher and Dominic Barbagallo, which is just under 9 seconds separating the two. As we take a look at Cole Denton in the 46. Doing a little bit of Detroit landscaping, as I don't know if he broke something on the car or this is just pit strategy, but I guess you could say that we're in the middle of the pit cycle, since multiple cars have come into pit lane. But I have not run any laps with this combination of car and track. So you cannot take my word for it on what the fuel mileage is, as Cole Denton scrapes the wall a tiny amount. Dominic Barbagallo in 4th position in that number 17. Good run for him, the first car out of the podium, but that front end is all banged up. So he might have to go in for a repair if he gets any more damage on that front end. As Cole Denton has lost his front end. Let's see what happened to Cole Denton in just one moment. So Cole Denton scrapes the wall a little bit, and then comes through this long sweeping corner. On the brakes, oh, cooks it a little bit too much, and there goes that front end on that 46. But Cole Denton got his fast repair and is now in front of Van Drummond. Having a little bit of action now. Let's see if Cole Denton is going to try to try to impede Van Drummond. I doubt it, but you never know. As Van Drummond did tap the wall a little bit in an awkward place. So Van Drummond is pushing this car to its limits, which is a little bit bizarre when you're the leader and you have a 25-second gap, but that's just the type of driver Van Drummond is. And it's a testament on how confined this track can be. Well, Cole Denton currently the last car on the lead lap. So, looks like that pit stop for him was for just a fast repair and nothing else after that little accident that he had. But Van Drummond has been driving an almost perfect race, besides tapping the wall a couple times. He has the fastest lap he's led every lap so far. And he might just be playing it easy just in case Cole Denton might make a mistake like that. As Caleb McKinney has pulled into pit lane on lap number 20. Cole Denton did not get a very good exit out of that corner, and now Van Drummond too is inside. Cole Denton lets off very early, letting Drummond by. So Van Drummond has lapped the 46 of Cole Denton. So he's lapped up to 5th place. Just showing the speed that that Mr. Drummond has compared to the rest of the field. Especially considering that he has a 40-second gap over Alex Schumacher, who has taken over 2nd place from Caleb McKinney. As, yep, Van Drummond pulls into pit lane, so looks like this is these are scheduled stops. But I think that Van Drummond is so far ahead that even with pit lane speed and the time it takes to get fuel, I think he'll still be in front of the 68. So he might take home the prestigious award of leading all the laps, as yes, he has left pit lane as Schumacher pulls in pit lane. So it looks like they were just running it until it was dry. As we look at Joseph Lewis, who's basically racing his own race at this point. His last lap was a 143 flat. So he's quite off the pace of Van Drummond, but he's doing his best. And Caleb McKinney has taken the second position back from Alex Schumacher. But Schumacher has closed the gap quite considerably from over 10 seconds to now a little over 6. But Caleb McKinney is proven to be a little bit faster on pace, especially with the clean race car now, than Alex Schumacher. Van Drummond does not have a front end. Did he mess something up on old tires or on new tires? Let's get a quick look into that. I got word from the officials that Van Drummond might have had an accident. I pan over to his car, and he does not have a front end. So hold on, folks, just 1 second while I get a replay on what happened to our leader. As we look at Van Drummond out of pit lane through these twisty sections, turned too much while braking, and that car just went straight. So a costly mistake from Van Drummond. But
Yellow flag is out.
and the caution is out here at Belle Isle. I was saying, God willing, there is a caution just in case, because you never know what happens in these leagues. And we have a caution, and it might be in relation to Caleb McKinney. So hold on for just 1 second while we see what happens, or what happened. My apologies, as I need to put the intermission screen on. Looking at Caleb McKinney coming into the first corner. Oh, looks like he got loose under braking, and then and just the very precarious position he was in brought out the caution, since he would have been backing up in front of other cars. But that's got to be a gut punch for McKinney. But Van Drummond will have to pull into... You'd think Van Drummond would have to pull into pit lane to get his fast repair, since, he doesn't have a front end. This is not what Van Drummond wants to see, since he had a 20-second lead. But maybe this is so that he can get that front end back on his car, as there is one fast repair in the Schumacher Racing League. So, folks, for those who have not tuned out yet, keep watching, because this race just got a whole lot interesting for the time being, as the field catches up with the pace cars. We're waiting for Alex Schumacher to catch up. But Caleb McKinney took his fast repair on that last green flag pit stop. So he might be kicking himself now that he has damage that cannot be fixed with a fast repair, and he'll have to instead wait for those optional repairs to be finished. And if I'm not mistaken, I don't know if there are lucky dogs on road courses, but if there are, then Joseph Lewis in the 26 would be the lucky dog, and would get his lap back, assuming that he's eligible for the lucky dog. Yeah, as Van Drummond pulls to pit lane, everyone pulls in a pit lane except for Joseph Lewis, who looks like he's going to stay out to get the wave around. Yep, Van Drummond getting the wave around. Not Van Drummond, Joseph Lewis getting the wave around, so he will be back on the lead lap. Van Drummond gets his fast repair and will exit pit lane first. Caleb McKinney still in pit lane. This is a pretty garbage camera angle. There we go. So it's like, looks like Caleb McKinney is getting his damage repaired. These are pretty long pace laps, about 3-minute long pace laps, so he can get as much as he wants done since these pace laps are so long. As we will reach the halfway point under caution. So every car still running is on the lead lap now that Joseph Lewis has his lap back. So he will be trying his best to get to the back of the lead pack, and who knows, maybe Joseph Lewis can come out with a top 5 or maybe even a podium. Considering how this race just got turned on its head. But first, a quick little pit stop. Since these pace laps are so long and they pace at such a slow speed around here. I think this is like 40 miles an hour. So Van Drummond's probably a little bit irritated that his lead has vanished to basically nothing now. But considering that he got a fast repair taken care of, I don't think that'll be weighing on his mind too much anymore. But now his room for error is now next to 0. Since he doesn't have that safety net to rely on anymore. As Cole Denton pulls into pit lane, maybe he's thinking about topping off to potentially stretch it the rest of the way. So pace car lights are off. So that means this will be the last time around before the pace car pulls into pit lane. But interesting strategy by Cole Denton in the 46 as he decides to go into pit lane to top off, and who knows, this might be the winning strategy, as this means he probably won't have to worry about saving. So we have a single file restart, I believe. A single file restart for our leader, Van Drummond. See Henry Kaloff join the pack. And Dominic Barbagallo and Joseph Lewis are still about 30 seconds behind. But these pace laps are about 3 minutes long. So they have more than enough time to leisurely make their way up before the end of before the pace car starts one more time. I don't even know what I'm saying as the pace car pulls into pit lane one more time. There we go. we'll have to see what moves Alex Schumacher can pull off. To try and maybe even get past Drummond. But he also has a very fast Cole Denton and Caleb McKinney behind him. So he might have to play more defense than offense. As Van Drummond holds up the field a little bit to give a little bit of space between him and the pace car. Pace car is about to pull into pit lane. Pace car is pulled into pit lane. And Van Drummond hits the gas. About an equal start from Alex Schumacher. Cole Denton did not get a very good start. So Schumacher's all over the back end of Drummond. What can Schumacher do? Looking to the outside, almost hits the wall. As we saw Caleb McKinney scrape the wall. But Van Drummond off to a good start, coming into the first hard braking zone of this track. And Schumacher follows him through as Caleb McKinney is all over the back end of Cole Denton. But Schumacher all over the back end of Van Drummond, as he looks to the inside of Drummond, just isn't there. So he'll have to make a move on. You have to think about this move during this next braking zone. Looks like he decides that he'll just try to get a little bit closer before trying anything crazy, as he overshoots the corner, and oh, Michael Schumacher into the wall just a little bit. A little bit of right front damage on that car, and that will allow Van Drummond to pull away, as Caleb McKinney has made his way up into third place, and Cole Denton is under heavy fire from the 17 of Dominic Barbagallo for the fourth spot. Joseph Lewis all over the back end of Henry Caloff right now. But Barbagallo, aggressive move into the first corner. I think Cole Denton saw that coming and decided to give Barbagallo a little bit of leeway. Aggressive move by Barbagallo, but it works out, and the 17 moves up into the fourth position. As Cole Denton outbreaks the 17, the crossover will not work for the 17, so Cole Denton retakes fourth place. Nice move by the 46, a nice aggressive move. But Barbagallo is not giving up just yet. Gonna look for ways around that 46. As 17 scrapes the wall just a little bit. So Van Drummond has now pulled away to about a 5-second lead, as Barbagallo to the outside of Cole Denton and tried to cut it back in. Did not work out, but is still glued to the back end of that 46 as they catch Caleb McKinney and Alex Schumacher. Now Denton all over the back end of Schumacher for third place. Barbagallo has his nose pressed firmly against the back of the 46, even with a little bit of a slide. Joseph Lewis loose. Looks like he doesn't hit anything, so no harm done, as looks like Cole Denton might have got a little bump from Barbagallo telling him to get out of the way. So Cole Denton now behind Barbagallo as Barbagallo moves up into the fourth position. As we see lots of smoke from Schumacher as he makes a daring move on the 76 of McKinney, somehow made it work, just barely swept in front of him. As I apologize for not noticing this. Van Drummond had an accident. I was so focused on the battle between these guys that I did not notice that Van Drummond had slid off course from the lead. This changes everything as Alex Schumacher is now in the lead. Dominic Barbagallo with a crazy move locks it up. Crossover from Barbagallo as Denton hits the tire barriers, I believe. So bonsai move from Barbagallo did not work out, and Cole Denton, I believe, hit the tire barriers a little bit. But I don't see any damage on that 44, so it looks like he might have just locked it up and had to let some people go as he makes a move on Henry Kaloff. But Alex Schumacher, the owner of the league, is currently leading, and probably one of the most bizarre races I've ever broadcast here on Fireball Talks NASCAR. What a story it would be if Alex Schumacher could win, as Barbagallo hits a bump weird and slaps the wall. But now it is all defense playing from Alex Schumacher to try and hold off a very fast Cade McKinney. He's gonna need Barbagallo to hold up Van Drummond as much as possible. Be the widest 17 car on the planet. Well, he has a miracle of Caleb McKinney. So 21 laps to go here at Detroit. What I thought would be a little bit of a snoozer turning out to be a very interesting race. Very defensive line from Schumacher that's going to compromise his exit. And McKinney will be on his inside. Bold move from McKinney. Both drivers racing each other very cleanly. Schumacher with a good exit, but McKinney with the preferred line. Move McKinney to the top spot. As now Schumacher is back in second place. Looking to make a move on Caleb McKinney. But McKinney looking to have better exits as Alex Schumacher pulls into pit lane. So your leader is now firmly Caleb McKinney with a little bit of a 1 second advantage over Dominic Barbagallo, who is under fire from Van Drummond. Van Drummond looking to the outside, outbraking the 17, and he overshot the corner. Oh, he got too oh no, Van Drummond, you got too aggressive. He threw, I don't want to say he threw it away, but that's pretty much the closest you can get to throwing it away. Just an over-aggressive move with 20 to go. Van Drummond is now about 14 seconds gone from Caleb McKinney. So, I don't know what to make of the events that have unfolded. But what I do know is that Van Drummond is going to have to drive the wheels off of that 44 to catch back up to Caleb McKinney, who now has a 13-second gap over Van Drummond. But Caleb McKinney has been the second best car right now, as Cole Denton looking all over the back end of Henry Kaloff as Dominic Barbagallo pulls into pit lane. So, oh my goodness, Caleb McKinney pulls into pit lane as well. Maybe this is for fuel. So like I was saying, that pit strategy with Cole Denton pulling into pit lane, they wouldn't have to save. But it's now a battle between Henry Kaloff and Cole Denton. I don't even know if Henry Kaloff has led any laps here in SRL. but they are currently about 20 seconds ahead of Caleb McKinney, as Cole Denton scrapes the wall a little bit. Henry Caloff showing that he knows how to lead if given the chance to lead. This was not in my bingo cards for this race. I was expecting some scattered action, not this much action from 13 cars, not even 13 cars, 12 cars putting on a show. As let's go back for the battle for third place between Alex Schumacher and Caleb McKinney. Schumacher has used his fast repair and nearly runs into the back of McKinney, going slower than he expected. As Barbagallo is currently in third place, and Cole Denton is just under 4/10 from our leader, Henry Caloff. Henry Caloff needs to work on making his car as wide as possible. As Cole Denton slides off. Oh, Cole Denton threw it away. This will be the biggest day of Henry Caloff's SRL career if he can just hold off. I'm getting big vibes from the 2009 Arla Elite Series race at Leipzig, where everyone wrecked and James West came out with the win. Henry Caloff, I don't want to be rude to this guy, but he's not known for running up front, and here he is with a 7-second lead over Cole Denton, who doesn't have a front end, and Caleb McKinney, in third place. So what Henry Caloff needs to do is he needs to keep driving his own race, as he's about 17 seconds ahead of Caleb McKinney, as we approach 17 laps to go here at Detroit. What a story this would be if this driver ends up taking home the victory. I don't believe that there's a win in your in system in SRL, but if there is, this would be literally the SRL equivalent of Harrison Burton making it into the playoffs. In a weekend in real life that we've had full of upsets, this would be one of them. So, currently the fastest car on track right now is Caleb McKinney, who is running about 2 seconds faster than our leader, Henry Caloff. But with the pressure that Alex Schumacher is applying on Caleb McKinney and what's happened to other drivers this race, it is safe to say that one thing can go on its head. The last lap from Henry Caloff was a 136.9, and the last lap from Caleb McKinney was a 134.7. But being under pressure from Alex Schumacher is going to make McKinney do a lot more mirror driving, and I think what Henry Caloff needs is Schumacher to start battling with the 76, or the 76 to make a mistake. That last lap, Caleb McKinney was about 2.5 seconds faster than Henry Caloff, as the 76 in the 68 begin to approach Cole Denton, who's probably having some handling issues and just wants to get this race over with. But this is the closest fight on track right now between Alex Schumacher and Caleb McKinney, as McKinney's about 7/10 ahead of Schumacher. But depending on where they catch Cole Denton, that can change in a blink of an eye, or any mistakes from Cade McKinney. Looks like Henry Califf might have scraped the wall a little bit. So even it's getting, I can't even speak. I don't even know what to say. But heebie-jeebies getting to Califf as he was down about 3 seconds. So he lost about 3 seconds to Caleb McKinney. Are those 3 seconds going to be what determines Henry Califf's glorious win to a podium position? As Caleb McKinney and Alex Schumacher begin to close in more and more on Cole Denton. But like I said earlier, I think the thing that Henry Califf would need is no mistakes, and this might be just what he needs. Schumacher to start racing side by side with McKinney, because when two cars race side by side, they are not as fast as they take each other's lines and slow each other up. A little bit of a lockup from the 68 as he avoids running into the back of the 76. What a crazy race we are having here. As they edge closer and closer to Cole Denton. I think Schumacher would like to have a podium position at this rate. He doesn't show up to a lot of the races. He spends a lot of time adminning and with real life obligations. But he's definitely putting on a show for his own league and showing why it deserves to be broadcasted on Fireball Talks NASCAR. 14 laps to go here at Detroit. Schumacher looking to the inside, has to lock it up a little bit. McKinney holding his own. As all of this battling has brought down the gap between the times of Henry Califf and Caleb McKinney from 2 seconds to just over a second. So who knows what will happen, but it's certainly we're certainly probably going to see a last lap pass, if or not a last lap pass, a late race pass, if something doesn't happen to these two drivers. But Caleb McKinney is locking up and spinning up the tires a lot. Schumacher looking to his outside. McKinney has to be aggressive to defend the position, but Schumacher is all over his back end. We come to 12 laps to go, or 13 laps to go, my mistake. Lap 38 out of 50. As Cole Denton is actually catching the 63 of Henry Califf, but is also losing ground to Caleb McKinney and Alex Schumacher. And I don't think Cole Denton is going to give up his spot very easily without a mistake. So if this battle for second place goes on for long enough, this might be what Henry Caloff needs for a victory here in SRL. As the last lap by Henry Caloff was a 137.358, and Cole Denton's last lap was a 136.013. But I think Cole Denton's times are going to suffer just a little bit once he has to start dealing with Caleb McKinney and Alex Schumacher. Lap 39 out of 50, a little under 7 seconds separates first and second. As Schumacher gets really loose, nearly slides into the wall over the bumps. And Caden McKinney has to get past Cole Denton fast if he wants a shot at the Henry Caloff sweepstakes right here. But Cole Denton is not going to give it up without a fight. A little bit of a wiggle from McKinney. Schumacher looking to the inside. Still there. Schumacher to the inside of Caleb McKinney for the third position. Schumacher's going to have the preferred line entering this corner. I think McKinney will have to back out and try a crossover move. Crossover from McKinney for fourth spot. A little bit of contact between the two. McKinney runs a little bit wide. And now Schumacher, Alex Schumacher, has moved into the third position, giving Cole Denton a little bit of breathing room, since they were catching him really quickly. As we cross the line, coming to lap 40 out of 50, 11 laps to go for Henry Caloff to maintain a 5-second lead over Cole Denton. What a wacky race this has been. 11 laps to go as Henry Caloff is in sight here at Detroit. We saw him in the shot at the end of this straightaway. Under 4 seconds separates Cole Denton and Henry Caloff as he saw him at just the edge of this shot as Caleb McKinney hits the wall a couple times. So what Henry Caloff needs is a very long and drawn out battle, basically, between Cole Denton and Alex Schumacher. Because they are now within 3 seconds. But Cole Denton did not get a very, very good corner as Schumacher looks to the inside of Cole Denton. Cole Denton not giving it up very easily. Side by side, a little bit of contact from Cole Denton, Alex Schumacher. Schumacher's gonna have the line coming across the final corner, but Cole Denton without a front end, still hungry to get that position back. As now Alex Schumacher, if he can pull away from Cole Denton, will now have to reel in Henry Caloff in 10 laps. And Van Drummond has entered the picture as well, as he's only 5 seconds behind Henry Caloff. So with all of this battling and chicanery, maybe Van Drummond can come back from a couple of mistakes and break the heart of Henry Calof as Cole Denton. Aggressive move on not Michael Schumacher, Alex Schumacher, and I think Caleb McKinney might have helped him into the tires a little bit. And Dominic Barbagallo in the way of Henry Calof. Looks like his ride is over, but he makes Schumacher take the wide line. This is gonna slow him down just a little bit as Dominic Barbagallo goes around. Oh, goodness gracious. I don't even know what happened there as Caleb McKinney and Cole Denton had to slow up a lot, and Caleb McKinney's around. What one lap car can do. But now it's a battle between Alex Schumacher and Henry Calof. Can Henry Calof hold off Schumacher? Schumacher has been very consistent besides that one little accident that he had earlier this race. But Schumacher just over a second separates him and Henry Calof. Now it's under a second, 8 tenths, 7 tenths. Schumacher got a great exit through that corner that Henry Calof did not get. Starting to close in on the back end of Henry Calof. Henry Calof is going to have to make a very defensive-minded effort to hold off Alex Schumacher for the next 8 laps. And Van Drummond is there as well. Aggressive move from Schumacher to the inside of Henry Calof. Schumacher hops the curb a little bit. Calof's going to have the run. Clears Schumacher. A little bit of contact. As Henry Calof doing his damnedest to hold off Schumacher. Doing a good job right now. Schumacher a little bit loose. Now Van Drummond has gotten into the picture. Schumacher with a dive down the inside. And Henry Calof just had to let it go. Now it's going to be a battle between Schumacher and Van Drummond for the win. Schumacher a little bit of a lockup. Oh no, Henry Calof goes around. Oh no. Henry Calof spun a little bit, trying to keep up with Drummond and Schumacher. That's gotta be heart wrenching for Henry Calof, but he was driving such a great race. Now it's Schumacher versus Drummond. Drummond very fast, but he's been rather inconsistent. And Schumacher not as fast, but very consistent. Haven't seen a lot of mistakes from Schumacher besides a few small lockups. But with 7 laps to go, this is your battle for the lead. Schumacher showing off that he can still race for wins when the opportunity is presented to him, and Drummond trying to show off his resilience after a couple of mistakes. still hounding the back end of Schumacher. Schumacher hops over the curb a little bit, loses some valuable time to Drummond. As Drummond all over the back end of Schumacher, does not get a very good exit. A little bit of wheel spin, slowing him down this short straight. As both cars rocket towards the line, as we have 6 laps to go here at the Detroit Grand Prix. Schumacher with very defensive-minded lines, not allowing any opening for Drummond, but he did clip the curb a little bit. That's going to hurt his exit speed down this long straightaway as Van Drummond looks to make a move. Schumacher blocks Drummond around the outside. Schumacher with the preferred line, looking to push Drummond wide. Cannot get it done just yet. Still has the preferred line. Drummond into the wall just a little bit. Drummond with the preferred line through this corner. Schumacher still there. What a race for the lead with 6 laps to go. Schumacher holds off Drummond. What a move. What a race by these two drivers. They're slugging it out very cleanly for the win. Down this long curved straightaway. Drummond closes the gap under braking. But Schumacher clips the wall a little bit. But Drummond cooked it a little bit too much. He's going to have to spend probably the rest of this lap getting to the back of Schumacher one more time. What a race we're having at something that I ruled out that might have been might would have been a little boring, as I'm stuttering over my words. As, oh no, Schumacher spins it from the lead! Oh no! Schumacher just handed the lead to Van Drummond as he accelerated over a bump. Oh no, Alex Schumacher has thrown away the lead. Now Van Drummond, all he has to do now is not make another mistake like he has earlier. He now holds a 10-second lead over Alex Schumacher. Oh, what a turn of events that's been going on here at Detroit as Van Drummond moves to a 10-second lead over Alex Schumacher. Cole Denton has gone back to third place. Has gone back to third place. And Schumacher is probably kicking himself after spinning, but with all of the tension that was going on for that battle, it's hard to keep your cool. But Van Drummond, in search of redemption for his 2 past mistakes, coming to 4 laps to go as we reach lap 47 out of 50. This is the spot where Drummond has been the worst. This hard right-hand corner. That's the last 2 times where he made mistakes, but it looks like he's taking it very, very easy. Taking it very easy through that corner, which you should when you have a 11-second lead. But now the field has strung out. And now Alex Schumacher is hoping for one more mistake from Van Drummond. But that's gonna be hard to come by, unless Joseph Lewis makes a mistake, and Van Drummond gets in, as Van Drummond clobbers the wall. Wonder if the toe might be a little out of whack, judging by the skew of that left front tire. But looks like nothing is out of the ordinary right now. And Van Drummond needs Joseph Lewis to peacefully, calmly, and safely move out of his way. Joseph Lewis is currently 2 laps down in the 6th position. Whew, man. Crazy race that I could not have predicted here at Detroit. And Van Drummond driving it very easy, as Joseph Lewis gives Drummond more than enough room to pass by. So as long as nothing crazy happens, Van Drummond has this in the bag with 2 to go. Two laps to go here at Detroit Belle Isle for the Detroit Grand Prix of the Schumacher Racing League. For a race with 12 cars, this has far surpassed my expectations. I was not expecting a mid-race caution, then the calamity that ensued from that. As Henry Kaloff, all over the back end of Cole Denton, as Caleb McKinney might have had an accident, according to my timing and scoring board, but we don't really have a whole lot of time to look at what happened to that. So this is the battle for the final podium position and the final interview spot. If Kaloff can get in front of Cole Denton, he will have an interview spot all of his own. And this is the closest battle on track right now, with only about 2/10 separating Denton and Kaloff. But final lap in the air for Van Drummond, who's had a very up and down race. Made a few mistakes. Made a few mistakes after the caution. Even before the caution, when he overshot the corner and knocked his bumper off, as he nearly hits the tire barrier on the final lap. That would have been a little crazy, but I think that he's being as cautious as can be, coming around this long curved back stretch. He just needs to nurse this car home. Through these slow, twisty parts of the track where Alex Schumacher's spun. through the final corners. Van Drummond will taste redemption after previous mistakes, and he will win a zany, chaotic race at Detroit as he proceeds to back the car into the concrete barriers. Alex Schumacher coming across in second place. Caleb McKinney battling with Henry Kaloff. I think Kaloff and Cole Denton might have had a little bit of a tussle as Kaloff overdrives one of the final corners, and Caleb McKinney will be your final podium position. And Henry Kaloff let a good number of laps here and will come home probably pretty satisfied with a 4th place, as Cole Denton very slow, trying to crawl his way back trying to crawl his way back to the start finish line. I don't know if he ran out of gas, but it's certainly going to take him a little bit. Slow and steady. I think he ran out of gas. So let's go to our finishing positions. Van Drummond is your winner here at Detroit, with Alex Schumacher finishing 19 seconds behind in second place. Probably not what Schumacher wanted after spinning from the lead, but he'll take what he can get. It's Caleb McKinney in third place in the number 76. Henry Kaloff with a very respectable 4th place. Cole Denton drops to 5th, and Joseph Lewis is in 6th. Dominic Barbagallo, the last car that did not retire, in 7th, and the first car to retire was Evan Allen in 8th, James Thurston in 9th, and Noah Larson rounding out your top 10. And Michael Deitch in 11th in the 57, as Nicholas Martinez Jr. in the 48th, and James R. Bomar round out your finishers in today's event. So, with all of that said and done, in just a few moments, we will be ready for interviews. Please stand by. Okay, we welcome you back to the Schumacher Racing League Detroit Grand Prix with our 3rd place finisher, Caleb McKinney. So let me try to get him into the booth. Caleb McKinney and P3, you got a copy, buddy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
So a very up and down race from leading in practice to being second, and then whatever happened in the second half of the race, want to give us a quick little overview on what your experience was?
Yeah, it was a pretty fun track. Starting off, I cooked it in a little bit too far, to T1, and I hit the wall. I got a little bit of damage, and so far we came back from that, and then I wrecked again. To bring out the caution of the mid stage, pretty much, and we just kept our head down a little bit, tried to make as much of the position up as we could, and we did that. Except for the final lap, we had Henry Callahoff and Cole Denton spin on the last lap. I think they were almost out of fuel and helping each other, but overall it was a good race, and thank you to Maconi Setup Shop for the tune.
So so explain to us what happened when you spun out to bring out that caution. Did the car just get out from under you?
Oh, when I was going into the corner, it just over rotated, and I tried to correct it, and it just didn't happen. It's just the next gen steering.
Well, at least a good recovery drive from you. Before we let you go, do you have any sponsors or people you want to thank?
Uh, no, thank you.
All right, that is our third place driver, Caleb McKinney. A solid run for him here at Detroit. We'll see you next time.
Thank you.
And then let's get to our next driver real quick. Alex Schumacher. All right, in position number 2, we have the 68 of Alex Schumacher. Alex, you got a copy?
Yeah, I got a copy.
So, crazy second half of the race that you had. We saw you coming to the lead, and then it just went away from you. What happened on that lap to relinquish the lead to Van Drummond?
Just was driving too hard. Upset the car, hit a curb, and that was it. Hit it a million times right during the race, and when it mattered most, hit it wrong and upset the car and sent me around. Don't get to run these races very much in my own league. Try to do race control as much as possible and make sure the quality of it. Given the smaller field, I felt like tonight would have been a really good night just to race and have fun with the guys. And man, I just did not expect to have my heart ripped out like that. Been chasing a win in my own league for 3+ years now, and even on broken pedals and very little time, it just sucks to lose one like that, just terribly. Not sure when the next one will happen for me. Like I said, I like to race control and make sure these races run as expected, whatnot, and being a league owner comes with that price, but it always hurts when you let one get away, and it's one thing you've been chasing for a while, whether it's 40 guys showing up in your own league or only a dozen. You want to win regardless, and tonight wasn't an exception. Had everything go right. Strategy was there, even with the halfway yellow. Pace was through the roof. Took a chance on no tires there. Played off huge. Was only 6 seconds behind Caleb, and my confidence really started to grow once I was able to catch him and pass him. It's just a terrible feeling, quite honestly. You don't win much in league racing. You don't really run much anymore because you want to focus on it. And the one time you do run, you just get your you just become your biggest enemy, and you just rip your own heart out. And it's just a terrible sight, and it's a terrible feeling. Not sure where to go from here in terms of racing. We'll figure it out. We'll try to attack each road course with the same mentality, since I guess I have that confidence now with these really challenging and bumpy street courses. But given the results on the ovals and super speedways and short tracks, this genuinely was my best opportunity to catch a win in my own league, and I threw it away.
So, speaking of your limited time, do you have any tracks that you really want to race at, is it just a case by case thing?
You know, it really is. It depends. I have a co-pilot. Bryce and I do race control a lot, and I've thrown the idea to him about having him run solo. But with so many guys racing and so much happening, you got to have two guys or one guy. So it's circumstantial for sure. Tonight was a perfect exception because it was a road course, it was a street race, and we only had a dozen guys show up. I felt like we could all self-police and report as needed, which gave me the opportunity to step in the car tonight. This is my home track as well. I live 30 minutes north of Detroit. Been to Belle Isle a couple of times. Beautiful track, beautiful place. Very happy to run here, and yeah, just I don't know when my next race is. We got the postseason, the SRL Cup Series playoffs starting in 2 races, so those will be going to be really hectic, and we're going to need all the help we can get for that. So I'm not sure. As depressing as it sounds, I'm not sure. You know, I just jumped in, figured home track, put laps on this track a lot. You know, I've always had this idea for Belle Isle. I felt like it was a very fun track to lap and race on. Thought it was possible on next gen, so incredibly happy to race here in the first place. Even if I was watching, just to bring SRL here is amazing. But yeah, not sure. Still gonna run officials when I can. Maybe some other leagues, we'll see. But yeah, tonight was genuinely the best opportunity I've had probably ever in my own league.
Well, I'm certainly glad to have you here. Is there any people you want to thank, any sponsors you want to thank before we let you go?
Shout out Jason Alexander, ran his first ever Truck Series race today, SRL's very own. Shout out Blaze, shout out Glenn, shout out Shane, shout out Barrett. Shout out to all the admins that make SRL possible. Shout out to Bryce. Shout out to FTN, shout out to you, shout out to David. Basically, shout out to everyone that makes SRL happen and participates and makes SRL such a great community. So I guess I'm shouting out SRL, but I'm shouting out the entire show.
Well, your shout-outs are very kindly accepted. That's Alexander Schumacher rounding out a very solid second-place finish. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Hey, thanks a lot. Take care.
Okay, and then next, in just 1 second, we'll get to our race winner, Van Drummond. Let's see if I can grab him into the booth right now. All right, race winner, Van Drummond in the number 44. You got a copy, buddy?
I do.
A very up and down race for you, it seems. He made a couple of mistakes, especially near the halfway point. What happened right there?
I just felt like I was trying to give it away at times, but it's still it's a new track to me. I ran this one time in the next gens for like 30 minutes before this, and did practice only today. So mistakes are prone to happen, especially when it's still a new track. The same thing with Mid Ohio. I have made mistakes there, so it's just not knowing the track. Like if this was a No Man Watkins Glen, I made those mistakes, and I just need to give up this game. But man, it was fun. It was fun. I didn't like the halfway caution because it obviously screwed me over. But it was Chewy, man. I feel bad for him. I mean, it's racing. Things happen. That's how the cookie crumbles. But Chewy's gonna get himself a win, and it's gonna be sooner rather than later. I know he's being hard on himself, but he's gonna get one. So be ready to interview him when he wins one. All right.
I'll be ready. I know exactly how he feels. So I think he can do it.
He will. He will. I promise you, he will.
All right, and explain that. Like I don't even know what to say. Explain your drive back through the field after that caution. Like was it like hectic, or were you waiting for? Were you trying to be aggressive, or were you waiting for people to make mistakes around you?
Man, I was full click, click, boom. mode right there. I was on it. I was just pedal to the metal. If I wrecked doing it, whatever. I'm high enough in points to where I can make those mistakes. But I mean, I really wanted this one simply because it was a good opportunity, and I was the dominant car. So I was able to do it. I'm glad we were able to do it. We're gonna go have a week off, and then we're gonna go come back. I don't know where exactly. I think Michigan, if I'm not mistaken. But we're gonna come back and we're gonna win that one. They're gonna win every single one for the rest of the year. That's my plan.
Sounds like a good plan. Do you have any sponsors or people you want to thank before we let you go?
Well, shout out to Shuey. He drove a great race. I'm hurting for him, but he's gonna get one. It's gonna be all right. And that's really all I gotta say. Thank you for you and the FTN broadcasting service for giving us streams every race. Thank y'all, and have a good night, y'all.
All right, that is our race winner, Van Drummond. We'll see you next time, buddy.
Thank you, man.
So, with those remarks in the books, it is time for us to head out. Give me 1 second to get everything set. But my name is Garrett Hess. I'm the greatest broadcaster in the world. Hopefully with no mistakes today. Big shout out to SKS Graphics and Andrew Schulte for their help with the ticker. If you are an up and coming broadcaster and you need ticker help, go to SKS Graphics and they'll help you out. Very nice group of people over there. But this concludes our broadcast for the SRL Detroit Grand Prix. And I hope everyone has